Hey guys, back with chest and biceps today. Uh, Same old, just starting with incline bench today. Hit 225 for 8 reps and then rest paused. I believe I hit another 2 after that and then rest paused for one more. Getting stronger in this lift, but I don't know, last couple of weeks just haven't felt that strong. It's like I'm getting the weight and the reps, but just hasn't been feeling as easy as it usually does. Could just be general wear and tear bringing me down. But otherwise, I definitely needed this workout today just to wake me up, get me into the groove of things. And as usual, was a really good workout. I always have to be pretty conservative with this lift. Obviously, I don't have a spotter. So I'll just go for what, I would think is like a rep just before failure. It tends to work. Definitely seeing progress in the chest, one of my weaker body parts, being a long arm guy. Deadlifts are easy, but bench press not so much. But felt good. Got the reps. Rest pause the second time. Usually do that for most of my chest exercises just to get a little more out of it since it's one of my weaker body parts. But same old. Next week I'll go for 235 since I got 8 reps on this, and we'll see how that goes next week. And so moving on to the next exercise, I hit flat bench. As I said before, I actually would prefer to do dumbbell bench press than flat bench, but my dumbbells that I have only go up to 100, and I was already hitting those in like the 3rd or 4th week for 8 reps. I believe I even hit it for 10 reps. And so that's the cap for that. Maybe I'll, order some more standard plates for my dumbbells for the next training cycle. But flat bench works just fine too. Have to hit a little bit of a higher grip, I guess I should say. Like, you're aiming higher for the chest. You're not trying to do like a powerlifting bench press, so I don't really arch or anything. I just want to feel that contraction in my chest. And this was 245, and then I hit it for 7 reps, I believe, and then rest paused one more time and hit that. I believe it was for a double. Just waiting to see. Yeah, so I hit it for a double there, and that felt like it was enough. My chest was just completely pumped, and I could just feel like the fibers ripping. So I moved on to incline dumbbell fly. I love this exercise. I really feel it in the upper and middle pecs. And I hit 70-pound dumbbells. I believe I hit 8 reps for this too, and then rest paused. I like to keep it simple. You don't need to do 10 million exercises, 10 million different types of exercises. Just pick the ones that, you feel work for you, and just hit those as hard as you can. And I'm sure you'll see some sort of progress. This is always like a staple. Flat flies are good too, but I just feel it more when I do the incline. And here's the rest pause now. But by this point I felt warmed up, felt a lot better than the first exercise. I generally hit some joint exercises before I start lifting, especially for chest. You just got to be careful with those rotator cuffs. Make sure they're healthy, because you tend to just, your muscles will get stronger than the joints, and that's usually how you'll get hurt. So here's just me doing the my version of the cable crossover. I wish I had 2 sides. That'd be great. But, this works. Definitely feel it in the outer when I'm pulling. And once I'm contracting down, I definitely feel it in the middle. See, like, my chest is getting pretty pumped. I have to stretch it out. And same thing here. Just hit rest pause. I think this was for 35 pounds. Last week was for 30, and I got 11 reps. But 35 just seemed to be a major difference. I was only able to get 7 reps on both sides, and then rest pause for 2. Usually I like to hit a little bit more reps for this exercise, since it's more of like an isolation exercise. It's not a compound lift. So, I usually like to get more reps so I get a better pump. But that was the progression. I got, over 10 last week with 30. So, 35. And I'm sure next week I'll get more reps and it'll start to, be, the way I want it to be. But it still felt good. Still got a good pump. Can't complain about that. That's usually what I'm aiming for, is not just a pump, but also just, feeling that like damage in the muscle, right? So that's how you grow, is by damaging the muscle. Like a pump is great. That'll get you looking nice and jacked for a couple minutes after your workout. But we want that damage and then repair. That's how we're going to grow. That's how we're going to get, good dense muscle, sarcoplasmic versus myofibrillar hypertrophy. That's always what we're aiming for, is myofibrillar. Sarcoplasmic, you want to fill your muscles, with fluid and all that good stuff. Yeah, sure, it's great, feels great, but you want that muscle that's going to last. So that was it for chest. Moved straight on to incline dumbbell curls as usual. Hit 50-pound dumbbells here. If you can hear me, groaning here, it's because my left bicep is still feeling a bit strained. I'm still pushing through it because I can. I can still move the arm fine. Just certain exercises tend to aggravate the strain. But, the set still felt good. The biceps felt pumped. It's another one of my weak body parts, so I always make sure to hit it as hard as I can. And same thing, rest pause. Just looking over to check if I'm still in one piece. And just a great exercise. Get a good range of motion. I've always felt like these helped a lot. Anytime I make the mistake of taking them out of my routine, I see the difference. These definitely just give my bicep a lot more fullness, a lot more shape. I don't really have great peaks, never have. So, I got to do the most that I can to get that work done with biceps, see some progress. After that, we moved on to cambered bar curls. I'm up to 105 on these. I believe I got it for 7 reps. My lower back was still bothering me from deadlifting on Tuesday. I probably should have wore a belt. But, I just went for it. And it felt good. I feel like it could have been better. So definitely had to compensate a bit to stabilize. But felt good. Got a good pump. Felt the muscles working. And on these, I always do negatives after the rest pause. So, just stretching, getting the blood flowing for that next rest pause. And I'll usually always get like 2 more reps, and then I'll just do 2 negatives by cheating the reps up and fighting it on the way down. Just trying to, do as much, positive damage as I can in the biceps. Because, we're not going to train them again until next Thursday, so got to give it everything you got in this workout so you make sure you got nothing left. And, you're going to do that damage and repair and grow. And then I finished with concentration curls. Finally moved up to 30 pounds on these. I was on 25 for like a couple of weeks. Felt good. With these, since, I got my other arm free, instead of the rest pause, I'll just do some force reps. Usually 2 force reps and 1 negative, because after those 2 force reps, my bicep just feels like it's going to pop. I kind of enjoy that. I get to do that. If I had a training partner, that would be how I would do all my exercises with force reps and negatives if I could. But, I work with what I got. I'm training by myself in my home garage. So, I just push myself as hard as I can on my own and, just try to be safe at the same time. Because, if I get injured, then I'm not going to be able to train. But yeah, that was today's training. Hope you enjoyed it. For whoever is watching, I appreciate it. Enjoy your day, and God bless. And I'll see you guys on Saturday for legs.